Salute, and welcome back to the Real Big Fruit Podcast. I am your host, Big Fruit, the Michael Jordan of Record, also known as the voice of the streets, but better known as the glue, because I like to keep things together and keep them in their proper perspective. How y'all doing out there on this Friday night? It's Friday night, so we gonna spark it up for Friday Night Lights. We gonna spark it up. Y'all see the title? Killer Ben and Polite linked up at Coney Island before Killer Ben's passing away. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's true. Let me tell you something, man. Everybody's gonna always in Brooklyn, especially, but the whole New York City, son, because you know what I'm saying, it hit the city. The city know about this one. You know what I'm saying? And you leave it up to Big Fruit, the masses gonna know about this one. But everybody know about the Killer Ben and Polite situation. You know what I'm saying? It was a massive drama down the way. Two homies fell out majorly. You know what I'm saying? A infant child lost his life in the process of it. You know what I'm saying? And then both of these brothers ended up losing their lives. You understand what I'm saying? Gun violence. There's nothing else to say about it. But the whole situation affected a lot of people. It didn't just affect the players involved or the families involved. It affected a lot of the people in the streets as well, especially their comrades and their homies. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Polite represented Polite represented Bed-Stuy. You know what I'm saying? I always say he was an NA Rock boy, but Polite was off of DeKalb and off of DeKalb and Bedford. You understand what I'm saying? So he was closer to LG than he was Notion Avenue, but he was off of DeKalb and Bedford, and Killer Ben was from Fort Greene. But when Polite and Killer Ben linked up, Ben was down on our end, and Light was down on their end. You understand what I'm saying? So Light was rubbing shoulders with a lot of them Fort Greene boys. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them Fort Greene boys had a lot of love and respect for Polite. And that's why when that shit went down, Fort Greene boys got involved and came to Polite's rescue. You understand what I'm saying? So understand, it was love for Polite and Fort Greene. And the situation affected a lot of people. But it also affected Ben and Light to the point where they were internally dealing with some things because they were homies. You understand what I'm saying? And it came a point where, you know what I'm saying, Polite arms was long. You know what I'm saying? When Polite started doing it, he was doing it. You know what I mean? And when that shit went down in 90 and he took his show on the road and he was on the run, he was out there in Baltimore shaking. You know what I'm saying? He was shaking. You know what I'm saying? At the same time as him shaking, he was still doing what he had to do in them streets. You know what I'm saying? And he ran from 90 to about 96 before he passed away, son. So he had a 6-year run, America's Most Wanted and all that shit. But in 95, Ben came home. Ben came home in 95. And when Ben came home, everybody knew, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knew what it was because Ben hit the streets running. You know what I'm saying? Ben got to it. You know what I'm saying? The infamous Saucer Wars at Madison Square Garden. Ben had his hands all over that. You know what I'm saying? Ben had his hands all over that. They was up in the bathroom booking everything moved at the Saucer Wars. You know what I'm saying? So Ben came home 9-5. And not too long after the Saucer Wars, he passed away. You know what I'm saying? But before Ben passed away, it came a time where Jew Boy, rest in peace, Juju, that was the comrade, that was the homie. You know what I'm saying? Jew Boy found himself in the middle of that shit with him and with Ben and Light. But he also found himself trying to be the glue. You understand what I'm saying? So Light let him know, you know what I'm saying? Put something together and we gonna see what we could do. Lo and behold, man, it came a day when Jew Boy told Ben, man, let's take a ride out to Coney Island. Let's go enjoy the weather. Let's enjoy Coney Island. Let's enjoy the beach. Let's enjoy the rides, whatever. Let's go to Coney Island. And you don't need no hammer, son. Ben went to Coney Island with Jew Boy with no hammer on him. Get to Coney Island, and they moving and grooving. They walking around or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, Polite walked up on Ben, son. Word to mother, son. Out of nowhere, Polite crept up on Ben, and they had to have a man-to-man conversation, son. Can you imagine what that shit was like? Off the rip, Light let him know, yo, you don't want this, son. Like, leave this shit alone. Off the rip, Polite let him know that. And they said Ben stood there damn near in tears because he was so motherfucking angry, son. He was so fucking angry. He couldn't believe that shit went down like that, son. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't believe that shit went down like that. While Polite was talking, man, that nigga Ben was just staring off into space. And Polite sound like wah, 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 wah. Ben was so motherfucking serious. I mean, so disgusted, so angry, so furious. He was standing there in tears. But at the same time, Polite was letting them know, like, yo, son, if I want you, I can have you. Like, let's leave this shit alone, son. And they both walked away from Coney Island that night. You know what I'm saying? They both walked away from Coney Island that day. Nothing blew up. No shots was flown. No punches was thrown. None of that shit. You know what I'm saying? No yelling and screaming. Polite said what he had to say. And I from my understanding, Ben ain't do too much talking. But he was very angry and very upset. You know what I'm saying? And Jew Boy found himself in the middle of that shit. And that shit definitely affected Jew Boy and Killer Ben's relationship. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't affect the relationship to the point where they stopped speaking. It affected their relationship to the point where they wasn't really, you know, Ben wasn't really feeling a nigga like that. But Jew Boy let him know, son, that shit was done with good intentions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all niggas need to talk. Like, this shit can't keep going on. Like, we don't want to lose both of y'all niggas to this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Jew Boy was trying his hardest to be the glue. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, nothing came out of that night at Coney Island. And at the same time, Ben ended up losing his life months later at the payphone in Fort Greene. You know what I'm saying? That shit was a notorious situation. You know what I'm saying? That shit made the papers. It was a retaliation shooting down in Brownsville. It was just a bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got hit. You know what I'm saying? Innocent people got hit in Brownsville. I think Shorty Dip's sister got shot. You know what I'm saying? It was just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to her. You know what I'm saying? That crooked ass cop that Bush and him be riding, he lined the boy up from Fort Greene for that shooting in Brownsville. Dude did about 20 years, got his case overturned. Like, it was a bunch, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. And then Polite ended up losing his life a year later, you know what I'm saying, out in B-More. Like, you know what I'm saying? We didn't want to lose both of them, but we ended up losing both of them. You know what I'm saying? It was a terrible, terrible situation. Brooklyn felt that. You know what I'm saying? And then we ended up losing Jew Boy. We ended up losing Juju years later. You know what I'm saying? Jew Boy was getting to it, doing his 1-2 out there. He was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers ran down on Juju on some kidnapping shit and murdered Juju as well. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was a tough time, son. It was a tough time. But this was an exclusive because not too many people knew this went down. You know what I'm saying? And in fact, I heard it went down and I couldn't believe it. So I never repeated it. But it came across my desk today and I felt like, yo, this is hot as a motherfucker. Let me get this out there to the people. You know what I'm saying? So the person confirmed it, like, yeah, what you heard was true. And I said, you know what? I got to give it to the people, son. Because the people need to know these two men seen each other. These two men spoke. You know what I'm saying? It didn't just end with the notorious shooting down in Fort Greene. You know what I'm saying? Years later, these two men saw each other eye to eye and had a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I felt the need to get this out there to the people. And I think it was a heater. You know what I'm saying? It was a short one, but it was a heater. Y'all know how I do. I come through and I get right to it. I get right to the meat and the potatoes. I'll post it in the morning and the video will be out that afternoon. You understand what I'm saying? I get to it because I am the voice of the streets and I'm going to deliver to the streets. And I hope you all enjoyed this one. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Fort Greene. This one was for y'all. Shout out to Best Stop. You know what I'm saying? NA Rock. Befford Decal, LG Barncy, all that shit that Polite represented. This one was for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how I do. I come through 6 minutes, Dougie. I say what it is and say what it ain't. And right now, it's all about Killer Ben and Polite. And like I said on my Instagram post, y'all gonna remember their names. Until next time, it's your boy Big Fruit. You know how I do. Salute. R.I.P. Killer Ben and Polite.